Good afternoon. My name is Sabrina Beckham, and I am presenting the video assignment for Strategic Marketing for Professor Sharon Pope. And again, my name is Sabrina Beckham. My video is actually about the value-added taxes. So I had to look up what exactly is the VAT, which is the short version of what they call the value-added taxes. The European Union, which is Europe, already has this value-added tax applied to their country or to the several different locations in their organization. The United States has yet to adapt this value-added tax. There's been some controversy and some back and forth discussions regarding this. And today I just want to discuss a little bit about what a value-added tax is, who actually benefits from it, the pros and cons of value-added taxes, as well as what I learned while going through this particular assignment. What is a value-added tax? So, the EU says that the value-added tax is a general tax that applies in principle to all commercial activities involving the production and distribution of goods and the provision of services. It says that a consumption tax because it is borne ultimately by the final consumer, and it's not really a charge on businesses. So what happens in that regard is that the businesses usually, although they will add the taxes along the way to their different products, in the end, what that's saying is that they will then pass those taxes on to the consumer. Essentially, what that means is that they will increase the price of the goods and services to make up for the taxes. So it doesn't really affect the business. It really just affects then the end consumer. At least that's what this particular definition would have us to believe. Let's talk about the pros and cons. Some of the pros of the value-added tax is that it has the ability to raise large amounts of revenue. It is also a neutral tax because it would be on all businesses, doesn't matter what the size is. It would eliminate the U.S. current tax system if we were to adapt it, and it would solve the problem of lost online sales because those are not currently taxed, some of them. And then it could also reduce the deficit and also assist in funding critical things such as healthcare. The cons. The conflict with the present state and local laws. As we know, state and local venues have their own tax laws. So this would become a conflict of interest if the U.S. adapted this particular value-added tax. It could potentially disrupt exports, a lack of incentive. So basically it's saying that if we have this tax now here, then people won't want to send their goods overseas in order to sell it, because then it's going to obviously start to cost even more in order to export things. It would be difficult to eliminate the IRS U.S. tax system. Essentially, that would mean that we would end up being taxed twice. If they can't get rid of the federal tax system, but they also add this VAT, this value-added tax, then the American people will wind up getting taxed double. It would be costly to businesses who would then raise costs to the consumers, which would essentially become an adverse effect. And the cost would unfortunately mostly fall on the poor, which would then widen the gap between the rich, the middle class, and the poor. Because they would put the cost, again, like I said before, essentially they would put the cost to the consumer. This is why this is one of the cons, because the point is that to increase the corporate income tax, but essentially it will wind up coming back to the consumer. Who benefits from the implementation of this tax? It seems that from my research that the beneficiaries of this tax is corporate companies, and possibly it could help to reduce the deficit overall, but it still seems to me very, very complex. What did I learn while doing this assignment? I learned in this exercise that the government has been mismanaging finances for a very long time. While I agree that we do need tax reform, we also need a full financial overhaul if we are going to come out of the deficit that we are currently in. My research came from the taxfoundation.org and also the Balanced Small Business. Thank you for listening and have a great day.